Good morning and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
I'm Jade Elliott. Thanks for waking up with us on this Wednesday. A lot of news to get to.
That's right. We want to start this morning off in Kennewick, where hundreds of residents packed into the Highlands Middle School Monday night.
So now this morning we're hearing from the man who plans to operate the home for registered level 3 sex offenders. This home is supposed to be just off of 8th and Edison in Kennewick. Apple Valley News Now's Caleb Stipkovitz takes us into that town hall meeting and shows us how the community is reacting.
For hundreds in the crowd and thousands more watching online, Monday's town hall meeting was the first opportunity for many community members to talk to officials, including the operator of the program, as an LRA is set to go into their neighborhood. Audience members had so many questions that a long line still remained when the 2-hour Q&A session ended. Most of the questions were directed at property manager Joe Field, including why the neighborhood got chosen for the home, as residents say it's home to many kids in schools.
In schools, I live under the statute of the law, and schools are far enough away. In the neighborhood, listen to me, in the neighborhood that I have Walla Walla, there are 2 apartment complexes, 1 block. It doesn't matter, it's the same program, there's kids everywhere.
Audience members also pressed field and state officials about safety. They say that there are no safety measures that could make them feel comfortable living next to level 3 registered sex offenders.
A 19-year-old who is just coming into adulthood, who's working a 9 to 5, who's paying her taxes, should not have to be here telling grown men that this is wrong.
Field says the house will always be staffed with 2 workers during the day and 1 at night. He says residents will wear ankle monitors, and if they leave the property, workers are supposed to immediately call police. A woman who says she is the landlord of Field's Walla Walla program added that she believes the offenders are reformed.
These men have been respectful, straight, and they have behaved beautifully.
But the bottom line for many in the crowd, including victims of sexual assault, is that they don't want an LRA in their neighborhood.
Why would you want to put anybody else through the pain that both you and me have felt? Why is that okay?
And after the town hall, residents took to social media to express their feelings on the meeting. One social media user says he's disappointed that residents weren't alerted sooner about the plan, saying that he found it interesting that it was stated they were in communication with the city since January 2025. Another is saying, I think he, as in Joe Field, contradicted himself, outright lied multiple times, and danced around other inquiries. Other users say they feel worried for their property values, unsatisfied, and defeated. The town hall is leaving many residents with more questions than answers. Questions about transparency from leaders, the finances of the program, and whether or not neighbors can achieve their goal of preventing the LRA from opening. We plan to keep digging into this story to find the answers that community members are still waiting for. From Kennewick, Caleb Stipkovitz, Apple Valley News Now.
And one of those topics that was brought up in the town hall was the issue of training. People wanted to know what kind of training the staff at this proposed offender home would have.
And one of the speakers addressed Joe Field, the program director of the home, about the necessary training his staff will have when it comes to working with and monitoring offenders at the Kennewick residence. The response that Field gave did not sit well with the community.
What kind of equipment training do they have to go through before these officers can get there to restrain them?
So all my staff have been working in the same field for quite a while, right? That's the train. The training is working in the field. There is no training. I'm a social worker. Like for chaperoning, they're trained by the RCTT team for chaperoning. But as far as a school training, there's no such thing. So working in the field is the experience and training, and they've been working in the field quite a long time.
What's RCTT?
Apple Valley News Now investigates found while the Washington State DOC typically requires completion of specific training for safety and security, sex offender treatment programs, and how to supervise and monitor offenders, there's still no clear indication if these programs will be required at the proposed location in Kennewick.
It's also important to note that the state does require staffers who are in transitional housing to be classified as residential rehabilitation counselors, but as of right now, we don't know how this house in Kennewick is going to be classified.
But we'll of course keep you updated as we learn more.